Trevor Morning Laddies, my name is Chaz and welcome to the What If Zuku Had and Upchucks and Ghost Freaks Inc.'s powers. And yes, the abilities of theirs. So, this is Zuku. Or, yeah, that would be Zuku. With a, kind of like with his cute little nose on it. So, yeah. So, in this What If video, Zuku was born as that. So, yeah, it's basically him as Upchuck. So, yeah, his parents took him to go see a quirk doctor, see if he was quirked. Well, doctor says, well, Miss and Mr. Midoriya, your son has no quirk. So he's quirkless. Yes. I keep going back and forth. So the where is it? Sorry if I go quiet. So he says yes, he's quirkless, but he has a unique gene in his power. It's two alien creatures from different worlds. So yeah, he has upchucks, or their codename is like upchuck and ghostfreak. So, and their powers are not to be tampered with. As, yeah. So, in this what if, or I'm also giving the Ghost Freak thing to transform back into, or a human, or any creature. So, yeah. He had that much power. So, yeah. He ate his competition. Not literally, but or he was just a human child transformed and used his full power. See that he's the literal weakest one of my Zukus. With those two powers or abilities that he has from Upchucks and the Ghost Freaks. Yeah. Zuku is 99%. Plus, he's smarter than everyone. So, yeah. And no, I'm not smoking. It's breathing. So, that was only... Sorry about that. My friend was just walked in to do that. Huh? And you could hear her in the background. So, yeah. Sorry about that. I was, of course, let's continue. So, when he was age of or he had friends that even, or he didn't have too many friends. He only had was people that was basically weirdos things. So yeah, Zuku is basically a weird and don't mind about his tail. That's a hidden feature about his new found abilities. But there's his awakened power when he's comfortable. He he does like what normal Chuck does or upchuck does. That. So yeah, Zuku or was or he tells Bakugo that he might have a strongest quirk. Or Bakugo has the strongest quirk. There. And yeah, he says, no, hidden. How about what is this little big form? And he says, well, the my powers is to earn because upchuck basically he says my powers are a little bit weaker. I can eat stuff and shoot stuff and use my tongues to grab onto things that are bigger size than me. And plus the other ones, I believe it was ghostfreaks. Hinks was it allows me to like go through walls, possess people, go invisible, all that stuff. So they're like, dude, you call that weakest one. I called the strongest one. You could easily outmatch me. Yeah, I could use your explosions against you. Yeah. So at 15, and they go to the high school, or to UA before, or no, after, they did the quirk assessment, or like doing that, and he was literally, or during the robot quirk thing, or robots one, he literally ate like 1 pointers, 2 pointers, 3 pointers, and 4 pointers. I'm throwing in like 4 pointers and 5 pointers. And when they see his stomach's like big as like uh, how will I put this? Bigger than Fat Gun. Some of you might not remember who he is. Nah. So yeah, he would be the second. The second would be the second compared to him. As when he like when the 0 pointer came, he literally grabbed like, or he grabs Ochako before, puts her off to his side as he used that one heck of the spit. Yeah, like that. But when he did it, you know that one scene where the he did, like, he used his power to shoot at the king of knights things, whatever his name is. Though, like, when he shot, yeah, don't. So yeah, that's how powerful when he did that. He basically, like, hit that atomic blare thing. Actually, like, made a 0-pointer explode. Like, he did that, like, same thing. He literally picked up 0-pointer and spinning it around. Yeah, boom, to everybody. So, yeah. Now, and he was wearing his, like, school outfit thing, or his outfit during it. So, yeah, he did that powerful attack. He literally destroyed the half of the fake city in the mountain. One full explosion. That's not even at his peak. So, yeah. He went into his, like, one of his pockets. He pulled out a mint and starts eating mint to get that weird flavor out of his mouth. So Nezu, where is Nezu? Where's that good? So Nezu saw what Izuku did to the 0-pointer. He's a real hungry fella, isn't he? Well, let's see. As he looks up on a computer, and it says he's quirkless. Well, usually people, or there's a handful of people with quirks that can eat anything and get stronger over time. But him, don't know. Sorry about that. The dogs had, they were barking. So yeah, Hazu says that to All Might and Eraserhead and Midnight. As Midnight says, that's probably not a quirk. That's probably his ability. As everyone agrees, we never had a person with an ability like that before. So, yeah. Of course, Nezu says, well, he's probably one powerful foe if he became our enemy. But one of the so it's this one, this guy says, no, he won't be here. Come on, hero. So, yeah, sorry, no sponsors. And so he ends up being a bad person to Zuku Midoriya. So he didn't get into UA because of that. So yeah, he stayed home with his mom and never left the house until like as he only walks around as yeah. He did that for so long that even he doesn't even remember his friends or his family or his friends. So yeah, Zuko was basically is the outcast. Yeah, but one day, time skip. But one day he was just walking around the house or walking around the entire Japan, just looking around as he sees, or he was just being in the neighborhood as he says, huh, well, oh, oh, huh, oh well, maybe they're throwing a party or something. As the students were running out, or maybe I should just jump in. As he jumps in, as he sees the Nomu was gonna, as he used his ghost ability, as he goes and possesses a Nomu and hits him in the, or he forced the Nomu to get hitting him in the head, or hit himself in the head, like beating himself up. As he turns around and he runs right at Nezu, or no, Shiraki-san, hold and grabbing him by his throat, holding him up to a wall. As he says, huh, you haven't to expect someone that has the uh, ghost ability. Or, as he says, erase her head, and let's finish him. And he literally, or of course, when he looked away to see Mr. Aizawa, he got decayed quirked. But this who was unharmed by it. So he basically punched him, or he went into Ling as he used his powers to, so he ate Ling some of the debris, or like he possessed the hand over his face guy, Shiraki-san, to like hit himself over and over again. He literally did that for 20 minutes. So yeah, everyone's confused of why is he hitting himself, and why did Nomu hit himself. As, yeah, Zuko was the one that did it. So, yeah, he basically possessed like them, as he says, now let's finish this. As he puts his hands together, as, yeah, the handcuffs, as he looks at him. So yeah, Zuko basically defeated all the villains, like basically, aka they battled themselves, among themselves, and then All Might shows up. Then Zuko, who is not trying to be a fanboy because he knows that might give his who he is. So yeah, he leaves. He flies back to his home. As, yeah, the couple days later, or no one remembers who. So he's like, that was interesting. As, yeah, only person that really didn't know that he was there was as Bakugo, but he missed it. So yeah, he says, or Bakugo texted Zuko saying thanks for helping at the USJ. As he says, are sure it was not of your imagination? As he says, who has the power of the to possess people? You do, of course, Zuko. Yeah. But don't tell the others that. Okay? As, yeah. As or Zuko and Bakugo were hanging out, as he says, well, you were useful for, like, those kinds of missions. Yeah. But might be worried if they find out that I was the one that possessed that Nomu. But tell me that I was invisible. Yeah, you're pretty powerful too. So yeah, Zuko, who is getting a lot of credit from Bakugo, as 1 week has passed, Zuko is training with Bakugo, and one day he actually did something that's crazy. When he opened his mouth to reveal his tongues, there was not just four, like, sorry, there wasn't just like those things. Literal squid tentacles came out and like tries to, or grabs the bigger object, like a car or a train. he basically, yeah, he went to a dump truck thing. Yeah. And those people were happy that the trash was gone. Like, yeah. Or metal things. Scrap metals. Because he literally cleaned out the entire meat with his eating habits, as he's like, he got big. Like, forget Fat Gun. Zuko would be as he tilts his head all the way up, as he, as Zuko used his thing, because he was probably bigger than a planet, or no, bigger than UA. As he tilts his head up, as yeah, he tilts his head all the way up, and green blur like that came out, and it landed, or like it shot all the way to the like atmosphere. Like he literally shot it all the way to the sun. Like, after he was done, he was like, oh, okay, who wants lunch? As a little picnic was on, as everyone that saw the green blur all the way to the sun, yeah, they're like, hey kid, or some of the pro heroes, or no, some citizens are like, hey kid, are you a pro hero? Or are you the student of UA? No, he is. I'm just trying to clean up the yard. Or try to clean up the entire planet. As, yeah, some of them that were on the page, when Zuko cleaned it off, they were a little bit surprised. The kid with that much power, as he says, huh, trust me, you don't know what, that's only half my abilities. As, yeah, as he looks at them and says, well, the other half is ghost form. Basically allows me to go invisible, fly around. And, yeah. So, the government, in this what if, knows that Zuko can be a good pro hero. But some of them, like the one that I showed that's not sponsored, one, he thinks that he needs more like real heroes that with quirks that are actually compatible with his like state laws. But with Zuko, who eats with his abilities, he can eat the entire food source if he wanted to, but he chose not to. So, and yeah, and a time skip, because as he tells, oh, or no, he told Bakugo to be safe. How about trying not to kill anybody, okay? Yeah, I trust you. So, yeah, Bakugo in this whatever is not a jerk. He's too proud of him to being his. So, yeah, Zuko was watching from the stadium as, yeah, Zuko was like watching as he says, with a, as he thinks in his head, with that stupid thing, I would have just ate my way through. As, yeah, Zuko, because he didn't have appropriate quirk to go into UA, so he's just supporting the Bakugo. So, yeah, Zuko is basically the powerfulest one when he activates his full quirk. Yeah, once Zuko gets his full quirk, or no, his power, because at some point I'll do his full on awaken power, because he can become a literally nightmare. Forget like the Nomus. Forget the Ben 10 alien things. Because they aren't the horror ones. As he's like walking down and he sees Baku, or no, the explosion caps, or like, it was a time skip, so because I'm skipping the net cam part. Because, or actually, Zuko was in it, but he literally ate Musclier, or possessed Musclier to knock himself out. And, yeah, Zuko ooh, wasn't really there because no one even noticed that he was there. As he, like, went back, and of course, he ends up going to, and, oh wait, All Might was still, oh, like, he was holding on to his quirk until he finds the right successor. So far, All Might was, or actually, Muriel would be 100% chance, but he's just, because he thinks that Bakugo will be the candidate. So yeah, he came as he sees, or he ate some rubble because a building exploded. As he gets up unharmed, and he says, "Huh, I." As he like literally, because he had a like piece of a debris inside stomach. as he chucks it at All for One, as he says, "Let my favorite idol go before I get too nasty." There's normal nasty, and then there's super nasty. And yeah, when he says that, things get too deep. Like, yeah, he activated his. You know that one scene where, like, ghostfreak shows Zombozo? No? The, like, those tentacles things? Yeah. Imagine him opening all the way from the tip of his head, or like those ones, kind of like the dog movies, or alien monster things. Well, he opens up his entire, all the way down, and shows a hideous monster. Like, forget, like, every quirk. Zuku's is, like, basically creepier than everyone's. It, like, it's like her, like, those things that are on each side of her body, what came out, like, of her, or of his head. And he was creepy. Like, he even made All for One, like, peed his pants of a sight of he looked. And those tendrils literally grabbed All for One and, like, pulled him up. He looked at him straight in the eyes, and he opened his mouth. Kind of like Bakugo getting, like, tried to get eaten by a sludge villain thing in that one scene in canon. Yeah. He did the same thing, pulling All for One into his ginormous mouth that could eat the entire world. Yeah. He was that powerful. He couldn't even stand himself by even the thought of losing All Might, his favorite idol. As, yeah, that was his awakened ability called Creepo. Not Creebo, Creepo. It's kind of confusing, yes. But it was more terrifying than all of those creatures. Even, heck, even creepier than the first founding Titan. Heck, even creepier than, like, a Beast Titan and, like, everything. He was the abomination creature of unlimited power. He'd straight up eat All for One, like, painfully as possible. As Mr. like, Sir Night Eyes was trying to seduce him from, yeah, his eyes were red as the fiery blaze. Yeah, Forget, forget hate blast. Forget like every Benton. He was scarier and more powerful when he's not like he stripped himself of it. So he ate all for one. All for one is no more. Basically, he only thing that was left was his head. As he turns around, as he sees them, but they're terrified. They couldn't even imagine how this thing will go and probably eat us, probably UA in grounds. As he says in a really deep tone, I am going to leave now. Don't follow me. In his creepiest voice, as he walks away from the UA, as he turns back into his cute and adorable self. As, yeah, someone has to get fired. Like, he had to get fired from his job. Because, one, he did not expect that Zuku can literally eat the person alive. Yeah. So, yeah. He was much more scarier than the Monster King himself. So, yeah. That's how gruesome he was. Forget him. Because that, when he turned back into his plushy self, as, yeah, he made sure, or he actually took care of every debris around him, so that there were survivors. So yeah, then he left, and yeah, his power knows no end. So the next day, Nezu, All Might, Mountain Lady, Endeavor, all the pro heroes chose to Ling. Of course, Nezu says, well, we have to see how powerful he really gets. We have to train him. As, yeah, and the government and saw it on the news, as he says, we need to destroy that thing before the, yeah, or like Nezu is trying to save it, government is trying to destroy it, and of course, the president of that country told him, him, that he needs to find another job. So, yeah, he got fired from it. Yeah. So he basically his adorableness, this, this, and into a something big as a UA. Yeah, they are trying to figure out how to, like, Nezu was trying to save Zuku from and join UA because he says, well, his blood sample says Zuku Midoriya. Yeah. So Eraserhead says, yeah, is that the same person that the one that got fired from um told him that he can't join UA? As Nezu says, yes, it's that one. He, what I heard from, or when, of course, at the All for One's words were, Zuku Midoriya, you're codenamed Ghost, or Mystery Ghost. You are such a mystery to me. As that's running through Nezu's head. As he, as it was running through everybody's head about what Zuku. So, yeah. So All Might was thinking inside of his head as he knows that Zuku Midoriya is the only one that has the power to eat anything. So yeah. So, yeah. He says, well, let's recruit him as a student at UA. How will that go? That would bend the rules, right? As the government, those two walked in and they said, no, the law has changed to that only certain people is now to join UA is with abilities like that can is joining UA too. So yeah, Pro Heroes or All Main comes in or like went into Midoriya's house. Inko was there answering the door as she says, "May I help you?" As Nezu says, "Is Zuko home?" Well, he's just taking a stroll around town. Basically, what do you need? Well, see that the law changed. We decided to give him a opportunity to come to UA and be a class 1A student. As Inko is like thinking, like as Nezu is like, I know this is hard for you because first that SUA rejected him at first because he didn't have the quirk. But then when we saw his true form of his ability, then we decided to change it. Plus, the guy that was making some laws up he left. As yeah, he left, and of course, Sir Nine Eyes says he. So we want him to, as Zuku or as Inko says. Well, he. I know that he wouldn't appreciate that, but I'm more worried about if that man comes back and or like goes to UA and or sees him as yeah. Zuko is now allowed into UA as he was playing games with his Bakugo's friend. Like Bakugo says, "Hey, you're gonna be allowed back in." Are you sure? They might reject me again. You got into UA, but I didn't. So yeah, Zuko was basically is doubting his abilities because no matter what he does, okay. So sorry about that. So yeah, he comes back to his house as yeah. Inko tells Zuko that you're allowed back into that, as he says, "Really? Well, they told me that the law changed so that people with your abilities can also join UA." So, yeah. So, Zuko is happy about that. As he got into UA, Class 1A. And, yeah. The students, or some of them are stayed away from him because he might have a freak out, but he says only when I don't have those freakouts. But that was a angry thing. So yeah. But everyone is, of course, Bakugo was hanging out with him more times as he starts training harder and harder, more than anyone, on every ability that he has. He even caught up, or he went past even Class 1A students, Class B students, and like Class S students. So yeah, Zuko is that powerful. Heck, his agency, or he was trying to pick an agency thing, but he didn't do, or he didn't go to, or he didn't be in sports festival. So, yeah. But when everybody saw his performance against the All for One, then everybody wanted to, like, every pro hero wanted to add them to their agency. So yeah, Zuko's whose papers things was past the roof. Um, yeah. So he caught up on all of the work thing, as yeah, he passed everybody. Now, and I'm time skip of he actually he used his like power to like pretend to like touch him, or like he goes into everybody's bodies and like does that. So yeah, Zugu or Miss Joke's like, why is my students hitting themselves instead of the other team? As as Racerhead says, oh, they're not just trying to hit themselves on purpose. He's controlling them to do that. As Miss Joke's like, who's he? Can I ask? Yes, but his name is Zuku Midoriya. Top hero, top pro hero from being a citizen, where, remember that old rule? Yeah. Well, it got changed and now he's a pro hero. Mystery Ghost, that's what his name is. Or he's such a mystery. Yeah. So he come from like he was like very powerful. As yeah. That's how he got his class 1A students or his team aim. They all passed. And yeah, Todoroki at first was like, who's this new kid? And Bakugo says, that's my friend Zuku Midoriya. Do you remember that big creature? As Todoroki was watching a like the news, as he hears or he remembers him hearing, my name is Zuku Midoriya. No, my pro hero or hero name is Mystery Ghost. As yeah, everyone is trying to wipe it from their memory. As yeah, Todoroki is thinking about that. Yeah. And when he has the ghostfreak's abilities, he's also not weak to the sun, so he doesn't burn. So yeah. So Suzuku even hasn't truly met his, or he always stays away, like isolates himself more, because one day he didn't realize that he, or because they, or he thinks that they're gonna pick on him and like treat him as crud. So, yeah, but he's now calmer. When he gets calmer, clearer mind, or cleared his own mind, he becomes this. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Give me a moment. He becomes this bulking man or kid that has like Nindever's powers, or looks like Nindever, basically like that. As everyone, heck, when he came out, all the girls, those were looked at him like with blank faces, as they're like, they thought that, as some of them are saying, who is he? As Bakugo, or Zuku says, I'm Zuku. As they looked at him, this might clear things up, as he turns back into that, as he calms down into like buff man, yeah. So yeah, Ochako is like, or everybody's like, wait, so you're that creature thing? No, I was born with this ability. It allows me to eat anything and become a ghost at any time. So yeah, only person that really knew that Zuku, when he's calm down, was actually Bakugo, as he says, okay, show off. As the pro heroes, like All Might, saw him, he decided to train him to use One for All. As, yeah, because Zuku was pretty good candidate for, and so yeah, he ends up also, when he was, like when he's nervous, he actually or when he gets too sad, or not sad, but when he thinks, of course, Ochako and everybody except who he is, as Bakugo just pushes them all away with his explosions, as he says, he's my friend. As, yeah, Bakugo says, I know that you're trying to make friends, but of course, Zuku explained why that he doesn't have friends back then, and Bakugo was the only friend. Not his goons, nobody else, but just him. So yeah, Ochako, is saying, we'll be friends, no matter what. Front girl's like, yeah. After So, yeah, the entire class agreed that they accept Zuko who he is. So yeah, the he became a pro hero after that. Okay, so yeah, the this video has gone long enough. Or actually, before we go, Ochako and Zuko, or Ochako got better knowing him better than her, as yeah, she ends up going on a like they got dating for quite a lot of time because and Zuko can fly, so gravity doesn't affect him that much. Even like, because he says, he actually says, thank goodness I don't often do that, just as, yeah. The doctor, let's change it over to, when the doctor still had Zuko's blood thing, and yeah, Zuko, whose blood was basically, he cloned himself, like cloned Zuko to be more maniac. Yeah. Basically the opposite of that. Like his evolved form was that. Yeah. So, yeah. I know that I might do a reboot of it, so stay tuned thing. So Zuko was like walking around and he sees this big creature looking thing terrorizing the town. Zuko is under a lot of stress thing. He became that. As he starts trying to eat the no eared looking thing. But turns out or that creature had. So, yeah, that creature looked at him as, yeah, Nomu, who, or cloned of Zuko, actually had the same abilities. His, of like shapeshifting, depends on how he feels. If he's calm, he converts as, yeah, he calms down into more younger version, or actually the female version of Zuko Midoriya. Yeah, I'm bringing her in, and from like my gender bent academia. Basically, like her, she, because Zuko's, yeah, that's what the doctor did. And instead of putting obedience chip thing, he says, "Oh, just let her have her fun, okay?" So yeah, she calms down, and she became the beautifulest girl. Oh, yeah, she was like basically she in his mind is like he's laughing inside of his head as, okay, who cloned me? As, yeah, he looked around as he says, this must be a practical joke. As Zumi, or yeah, female Zuku, says, oh, this is not a trick, by the way. I'm your clone. As Zuku almost fell backwards. Like if he was in a chair, he would have just fell backwards. But he did like what Mina did in that My Hero Academia Rise of Heroes. Where, yeah, he says, wait, what? As, yeah. As, yeah. Nezu, or everybody's, or like, Class A students, or like, or Bakugo was walking with him at the time, and he sees a female version of Zuku. He almost like got bloody nose. Yeah. He is one tough guy. But yeah. And yeah. So Inko, or no, Zumi, that I'll say, went with him as, yeah, he walked in, and as he's like, okay, this is a weird day. As only person that really heard that was Midnight, or no, Mr. Aizawa. So he says, what's so weird? Well, I think someone was doing a, like, clone version of me. As he, or actually it was All Might. As he comes and, like, shows her him. Yeah. When All Might saw the Zuku's female version of himself, he meanly turned, or his blood came out of his nose and out of his ears. Like, oh, I didn't know that you had a sister. No, she's part of, or she's cloned me. Or someone cloned me. I don't know who it is, but something tells me that we'll find out soon. As Nezu is like, okay, yeah. So they goes on as Mina is like, who's this new girl? Is this your clone, or? That is, yes, it's a clone. Oh, not someone cloned me, but as everybody sees how adorable she is, even those, like, even a weird person, the grapefruit guy, he was doing that thing. So, yeah. Then they figured out who it was, and they went and, like, did all that. So, yeah. Zuko is so, like, trying to think in his head. and of who he. Okay, so yeah. So now this is the end of the video. So please leave a like, share, subscribe. If this video gets whopping 4 likes, or first, yeah, 4 likes, we'll do the reboot of What If I Was in the Slime movie. 3 likes would be doing like What If Charmcaster thing, or do the like reboot of What If Deku Creates Monsters thing. And depends on how many likes this video gets.